My name is Jens Mueller, and I'm one of the entertainers here in this program. And I want to walk you through something that we have put together for you that will be a fantastic capstone at the end. I'm here in Lukla, Nepal, at the foot of Mount Everest Mountains, a place that is known for the most dangerous airport in the world. So let's think about what is the most dangerous thing that can happen to you and your career. It's probably that you have not had a chance to show yourself off in the best way, to accomplish something great, to do something that is big, something that you're known for, something that is a great stepping stone for your future. And so in this Executive MBA, we want to make sure that we don't just string one paper after the other, and after you clipped enough papers, you are being let go with a degree. This is about allowing you to do something great. So at the very end, we'll work with you to put together a proposal, a plan that is based on research, on analysis, that is a big transformation. It could be an acquisition in your business of some other firm. It could be divestiture. It could be going global. It could be inventing something completely new. Something that is monumental, big, huge, ambitious, and it allows you to show that you have the ability to put all the learnings together, your prior experience, and to then create something that can stand up so that when you have done this, you can walk away with the Executive MBA knowing that you have presented something to a board that is tremendously big, ambitious, and that you did that well. We will give you more information as the program develops as to what exactly is needed. And of course, we will be with you, working alongside you, making sure that this comes out as a highlight, a beautiful end of a very ambitious program that you're enrolled in. I look forward to seeing you soon. And now I'm trying to make it off the mountain without crashing a plane. Bye-bye.
And being down from the mountain, the Himalayas now, back to Tauranga, a quick introduction. So what we want you to focus on is that you have a unique opportunity here to profile yourself, to make sure that you make a contribution, and also making sure that you can combine the various parts of the Executive MBA over the last year and a half, 2 years that you've done that, into something that demonstrates that you took away value. I will approach working with many of you as your supervisor, but also in managing the effort of those who use other supervisors in a way that reflects a good management approach. That means that I am happy to support, I am happy to help you, but I'm also expecting that you do the heavy lifting. This is your work and not ours, and we will be facilitating and helping, but ultimately it is something that you want to continue doing on your own, and you want to be successful at that. A big part is your opportunity to network. You will most likely approach people for facts and information as part of your research. You will possibly arrange with your boss or with people in other companies that you make a major contribution to their firm, and out of that comes networking. Networking is essential to grow a career. The ability to draw on the knowledge and ability of other people, their black book network, their ability, willingness to support you, and to make sure that when you ask them a question, they will be available to answer. That is something that makes a big difference. And I think we want to get good exposure, which furthers careers and which ultimately makes big promotions happen. So when we look at ultimately what this here is about, it is not about writing a research report for the sake of writing a report that we then read, we grade, and we shred. Not a good thing. So what we're after here is that this is a practical contribution, something that brings an organization, a community, a firm forward. Now you are Executive MBA students. That means we expect more than a trivial contribution. We expect something that will be presented to a board, to a management team, something of consequence. And ultimately, that would be communicated through a report that is written in a management style. We want it accurate. We want decent citations if you use them. But this is a management report. And you well know that managers want to have punchy, factual, easy to understand concepts explained in a way that makes them either agree or disagree, and then they act. The company that you're working with can be anyone. In New Zealand, outside of New Zealand, a for-profit, a not-for-profit company, an organization that is active in the community, an iwi, a group that may work on bettering things, innovation. It could well be something that furthers profits. Profits are a good thing, but we first need to earn them. We need to be good at something in order to then reap the rewards. It could be a government entity. It could be doing different procedures. And while I'm talking, I will flash up a couple of example slides that show you just from this very last year, the crop of Massey Executive MBA students, what kind of work they have done. It is okay if you have a self-employment situation and you're looking to contribute to that, making it better, making it profitable. It is okay that you work a business plan for a new venture and then conclude not to do the new venture because it isn't feasible. We don't care much about the outcome. We care that you have a solid, fact-based argument that you develop over time based on the research you do, so that when you come to a conclusion, it is sound, it is not just opinion, but it is fact-based and therefore reliable. Credibility is a big thing in management. And you well know that there are some people who may not say very much, but when they come up with something, it is always well supported, and they have a lot of credibility. And then you have met other people who spout out ideas all the time, but it's pretty much their own belief, not well supported by facts, and therefore not very credible. So what I have just shown you here in the various slides that kind of cycled through the past few minutes is that there's a broad range of topics that you can pick. Now, when you think about contributing to an entity, it doesn't just have to be money. Entities have many ways of how they distinguish themselves in a market. It could be something that makes you the best employer in the sector. It could be something that possibly makes you a company that is known for its innovation. It could be adding a global dimension to the business that they currently don't have. It could very easily be a merger and acquisition or some sort of other major transformation in a business so that you're ending up with something that is valuable. The most important part is that it is not based on your beliefs. You probably bought a lotto ticket at some point and you couldn't get the 6 numbers right, otherwise you would be in this class. So your ability to predict the future on your own is somewhat limited. Unless you have a couple of syndicated TV shows around the globe, 2 Nobel Prizes, and a whole series of books on the shelf with your name on it as author, I don't believe what you think. I want you to bring me facts, data, something that is a credible base for your conclusions. So what we do is that we collect data, we then conclude on that data, we use those conclusions to recommend action to a management team so that we end up making a difference. There is a lot of work. There is a lot of time needed for that lot of work, and depending on whether we're still allowed to have public holidays or something by the beach, there is a holiday season with a family that will interrupt what you do. And clearly, we have other unforeseen circumstances that could well give you a problem. So the deadlines are important. If you deliver late, we cannot guarantee that you will graduate with your cohort. And I know that right now you will say, yeah, I could deliver that. It does not take much to derail you. It does not take much to have you spend another 4 weeks on rewriting something. So make sure that you end up with a very disciplined time schedule that you hold yourself accountable for so that you do not run late. The next thing we will do is assign a supervisor. I will do quite a few of those, but if there is special knowledge needed in a sector, then I will contract that out. And a lot of the work that is being done behind the scenes will be to match up that supervisor quite well. Nothing happens until there is a supervisor. So once we have a supervisor allocated, then we go through and we define the research that's needed. There are processes to get ethics approval, all of this stuff. Then you do a final report, and afterwards you essentially produce a reflective essay afterwards. Supervisors are experienced people. They have done this a lot more than you. They can smell 50 miles against the fog whether this is going to work out or not. I want you to work well with your supervisors so that you do not do work that's unnecessary, that you do not repeat a lot of work and lose time. But at the end of the day, supervisors are people that work with you, not for you. They are a resource, and this paper clearly is one that is flipped. We don't tell you what to do, we tell you the outcomes. And that means that you then work to those and you become your own teacher. It's called action learning, and it is what a good manager does in a company. There's no spring chickens here in the room, so all of you have worked for quite a while. If I ask you right now which manager you remember the most of your past managers, you will tell me the name of the person that taught you the most. So what we want to do is make sure that you become someone who can teach, because that is a very important management quality. We will support this in a very slick setup. We will have a separate private secret Facebook group that is for the ARP students only, so that when we give you insight, different students, different supervisors, and you get feedback, that is shared among the group. It allows you to also use the resource of other ARP students as a consulting opportunity to get someone to help you out, and also maybe somebody to read a few pages of your writing and decide whether that is good management quality or not. You are absolutely free to change your proposal. Things happen in the world, and a proposal that you decided on in March may not be a viable proposal in June or July, but it is good for you to understand what the ingredients are in a good proposal that you put forward. We have 3 assessments. They're all practical. They center very heavily around your final report. There will be clear and detailed marking rubrics for each. There's no exam or anything, because you will have worked your hindies off in the meantime. There is a chance to change that along the way if things turn to custard and you can't continue. Obviously, there is adaptation, but it is important that you have an agreement with your supervisor what you will do, and therefore where you spend your time on. We then have the report itself. That report is written to a board level, senior management level team standard, so that it is something that you could then use in order to showcase yourself. Clearly, if you have a client and you're doing work that is specific for a company, your company, somebody else's company, it needs to be something with impact that is credible, that is based on facts. And at the end, we want you to reflect on what you have learned, what you have changed in the way you approach a project, what has worked for you, what hasn't, what was painful, what was fun, so that you end up with an ability to follow along and tell us what this project has done to make you a person who is recognized, who is seen as a leader, as someone who can come up with a complex project and then put that into a context of a plan. For a limited number, the very best ones, not necessarily the longest ones or the ones with the prettiest pictures, we will take the report itself, if you want to, and we will publish that in an academic journal. You get author's credit for that. You are the author, and that looks nice on a CV. But it also shows that you have demonstrated abilities that go far beyond what the average MBA does in an average MBA. This is very high-end quality work. And then we will take a shortened version of that, put it into an industry sector so it flows along with the industry, put that in a book so that we end up being able to share that, so that once we protect the innocent, remove the company names, make it anonymous if you want to, that we can then use that book as something that guides other managers and moves them forward.